Howdy Daryl and folks. I've enjoyed these thoughtful videos, and this is my contribution to the TheDarkWheel project. You can find out more at TheDarkWheel.wordpress.com. Hats off to Daryl for setting this up. My name is Jim Cranford. I don't much like labels, but especially when it comes to what I do. So I'm going with independent philosopher. No attachment to isms or ologies. After all, we all have to build our own philosophy, bit by bit. So that makes us all independent philosophers. Okay, I can work with that. To the question, is consciousness a function of the human mind or an aspect of universal mind? Well, I don't think we'll ever get a satisfactory definition of consciousness using scientific terminology. The whole Western scientific thought is based on there not being a universal mind, aka spirit world. What is the spirit world? You know exactly what it is. You deal with it all the time. Your consciousness is your own personal slice of that spirit world. It is where objects are no longer solid, but virtual representations that you can play with. It is your own virtual reality, where you and your imagination can modify and test ideas, concepts, and plans before applying them in real life. It's a world of pure information. That's what the spirit world is. Pure information, images and thoughts about the physical world. Consciousness is your account in this universal communications network. It's what we use to interface with reality, the physical reality, and the spirit world. It's like a database, archive, and live feed of flowing information that you can access. The spirit world is nothing more than universal consciousness. This realm serves the same function for the larger system as it does for our own lives. It allows us to use memory and predict and plan for the future. It is the cosmic information superhighway, and we all have an account by default. Science denies its existence because the spirit world is the natural channel for us to receive knowledge and motivation. Back when our ancestors were hanging out in a Garden of Eden class environment, our behavior was the result of our symbiotic relationships with plants. Most plants speak softly, and then most of the time just to the subconscious and to the microbes in our gut. But in those days, that was all the guidance we needed. First with religion and later on with science, our culture has taken over the responsibility for our motivation and guidance. In the forest, it was our intuition, the output of our symbiotic feedback loops, that guided our behavior. Culture has taken over responsibility for our behavior by severing our natural symbiotic feedback loops and replacing them with man-made ones. This is the spirit world described by shamans from around the world, from every indigenous culture. These folks are experts in consciousness and the access to the spirit world. The descriptions of what it is and how it works are consistent across the world, around the world, and throughout history. During that same time frame, science has changed its mind on just about every subject imaginable several times. Okay, who's got the staying power here? Science admits its ignorance in these matters while giving out degrees in both consciousness and shamanic studies. They claim the high ground, making themselves out to be the authorities in fields they admittedly know nothing about. Okay. Scientists seem to be blind to such blatant arrogance. I guess that's what makes Sheldon Cooper such a funny character. Here's how I describe consciousness. It is the result of combining all input senses into a coherent, single, readout we know as experience. Our consciousness is the place where we compare current input with past experience to plot our future. I contend that all living things do that. Experience, memory, and planning are expressions of life itself. As an example, we can look at John Cairns' experiments with lactose-intolerant strains of E. coli. Normally, E. coli can handle lactose just fine, but this strain had a defective gene preventing assimilation. He put them in petri dishes with nothing but lactose to eat. He didn't do very well at first, but soon they began feeding on the lactose. The bacteria had repaired their own DNA. Now they did this without reproduction or any kind of random mutation. The mutations they did were very well directed and went right towards the solution to the problem. Now that's the key to the thing here. They solved the problem, bacteria. The point here is that evolution is not confined to reproduction, natural selection, and/or random mutation. It takes place in real time. Adaptation to the environment is fundamental to cellular activity. Do you have any idea how this changes evolutionary theory? Okay, thanks for watching. And if you're interested, you can check out my blog. I'm also on WordPress. It's at lifeos.wordpress.com. Okay, my question. I like the ghost question, but how about probing our free will? Do we have free will or not? Okay, thanks again. Thank you for watching. Bye.